You've been asking God for confirmation again and again. But let's be honest, how many more signs do you need before you believe Him? You've seen it in your dreams. You've felt it in your spirit. You've heard it in the quiet moments when no one else was around. And yet you still doubt. Why? Why do you keep questioning the very thing God has already made clear? Could it be that the problem isn't that He hasn't spoken, but that you're afraid of what happens if you believe Him? Think about it. Every time that person's name comes up, your heart responds differently. Every time you see them, there's a pull you can't explain. Every prayer you've prayed about your future spouse leads back to them. And still, you hesitate. Let me tell you something. Doubt doesn't always sound like, "I don't believe." Sometimes it sounds like, "Let me just make sure one more time." And the enemy loves that. Because as long as you're stuck asking for proof, you'll never take the step of faith to prepare for the promise. Right now, in the spiritual realm, the confirmation has already been released. Heaven has already stamped it. But here on earth, you keep hitting pause, waiting for God to send you another sign when He's already flooding you with them. I need you to see this clearly. God doesn't repeat Himself because He's unsure. He repeats Himself because He's merciful. And if He's showing you the same person over and over, it's not because He wants you to doubt, it's because He wants you to be sure enough to act. The truth is, the more you delay, the more you risk missing the season He has prepared. This isn't about rushing into something without wisdom. This is about recognizing when wisdom has already spoken. So, I'm asking you, will you keep waiting for lightning in the sky, or will you trust the quiet confirmations He's been giving you all along? Because the longer you wait for a bigger sign, the more you're telling God that what He's already shown isn't enough. And maybe, just maybe, the very thing you're calling caution is actually fear wearing a disguise. Fear of being wrong, fear of being hurt again, fear of opening your heart to love after so many disappointments. But here's the good news. If God is in it, your fear can't stop it, and your doubt can't delay it forever. All it takes is one moment of full surrender. One moment where you finally say, "Lord, I trust you more than my feelings. I trust you more than my fear." So, how many more signs will you ask for before you choose to believe Him? This is your moment to stop doubting and start preparing. Because the promise is already in motion. If you believe this word is for you, comment the word "trust" below. Not just as a comment, but as your declaration.
You tell yourself you're just being careful, that you're waiting on God's timing. But deep down, you know it's more than that. You've been stalling, not because God hasn't spoken, but because the thought of stepping into what He's shown you feels dangerous. Let's talk about why. Every wound from your past has a voice. The betrayal that broke you, the promises that others made but didn't keep, the moments you gave your heart only for it to be thrown back in your face. Those voices are still whispering, telling you it's safer to keep questioning than to risk another heartbreak. But here's the truth. Those wounds aren't there to guide you. They're there to guard you from healing. And if you keep listening to them, you'll mistake fear for wisdom and hesitation for discernment. Think about it. Every time you pray about this person, peace rises in your heart. But then the voice of your past interrupts. What if it's just your feelings? What if you're wrong? What if you're being deceived? And suddenly, the peace God gave you is drowned out by the noise of old pain. God has been showing you through dreams, through repeated encounters, through words from people who don't even know your situation. He's been aligning paths, placing you in moments you couldn't have planned, opening your eyes in ways you can't deny. But instead of accepting it, you've been dissecting it, piece by piece, until you've drained the life out of the confirmation itself. Let me ask you something. When Peter stepped out of the boat to walk on water, did Jesus give him a second confirmation before he took the first step? No, the word "come" was enough. And the moment Peter focused on the wind and waves, he began to sink. Not because the word had lost power, but because his focus shifted from fear to faith. That's exactly what's happening here. God has spoken, "Come." He has confirmed and confirmed again. But if you keep staring at the what ifs, you'll sink before you ever touch the promise. And here's the part that stings. Sometimes we pray for God to speak when the real question is whether we're willing to obey. Because if obedience only comes when we feel 100% sure, that's not faith, that's control. This person God keeps showing you, this isn't random. It's not an accident. You can't explain why your spirit recognizes them, why your heart rests when you think of them, why every sign keeps leading back to them. That's because it's not supposed to be explained. It's supposed to be trusted. I'm telling you now, if you keep delaying, you'll turn what was once a miracle into a missed opportunity, and the ache of regret will cut deeper than the fear you feel now. God isn't asking you to understand everything. He's asking you to believe Him. If this is speaking to your heart, declare it in the comments by writing "believe," not just as a word, but as a choice you're making today.
You think you can put this decision on hold forever, but let me tell you something. Delayed obedience is still disobedience. And every time you ignore a confirmation God has given, you are quietly telling Him, "I don't trust your voice enough to act." That's not just hesitation, it's spiritual sabotage. When God keeps confirming the same person, it's not for entertainment, it's an invitation to step into a chapter of your life He has already written. And here's the sobering truth. Opportunities in the kingdom often have windows. Miss the window, and you may find yourself praying for something that has already passed you by. I've seen it happen. People cry out for God's will. He shows them His answer, but they wait for the sky to split open. They want a supernatural fireworks show before they move. And by the time they realize the quiet confirmations were the answer, they've already lost what He was offering. Do not let that be your story. Every delay adds weight to your doubt and makes the leap of faith harder. And the enemy knows this. He's not just after your relationship, he's after your faith in God's voice. Because if he can convince you that your discernment can't be trusted, he can keep you stuck in spiritual paralysis for years. But here's the good news. When you choose to trust, something shifts in the unseen. Doors open, divine timing accelerates, and peace that once visited you in fleeting moments becomes the foundation you stand on daily. This isn't just about a spouse, it's about training your heart to obey without dragging God through another round of "Lord, show me again." Now, I want you to imagine the moment you finally step into this promise. Imagine the joy of seeing everything God hinted at unfold before your eyes. Imagine looking back and saying, "I'm so glad I didn't let fear rob me of this." That's the future waiting for you, if you dare to believe. So here's what I want you to do. After you finish this video, don't just sit with this word. Go to the playlist I've linked in the description. I've handpicked messages there that will keep your faith alive, your spirit sharp, and your heart ready for the promise. Because this journey is bigger than one video. It's about building the trust that will carry you into every promise God has for you. Don't just watch one and walk away hungry. Feed your faith until doubt starves to death. And if you know this word was meant for you, I want you to type "ready" in the comments, not just for me to see, but as a public declaration that you're ready to align with God's timing, not your fear. Close your eyes for a moment. Picture this: the day finally comes when the person God has been showing you is standing right in front of you, not as a question mark, but as your answered prayer. The waiting is over. The wondering is over. You're no longer asking for signs because you're living inside the promise. Can you feel the peace that comes with that moment? The way every doubt you once carried suddenly feels so small? That's what's on the other side of your decision to trust Him now. But here's the part we don't often talk about. If you don't take that step when God says move, that future doesn't just pause and wait for you. Divine opportunities aren't toys you can pick up and put down whenever you feel ready. There are seasons in God's timing where the soil is soft, the doors are open, and the path is clear. Miss that season, and what could have been simple can become a battle you were never meant to fight. And this isn't just about marriage, it's about legacy. God is not confirming this person over and over just so you can have a beautiful wedding. He's confirming them because they are connected to your calling. Together, you will walk into assignments you could never fulfill alone. The enemy knows this, and that's why the battle over your trust is so fierce. If the devil can't destroy the promise, he'll delay it. And if he can't delay it, he'll make you doubt it until you walk away from it yourself. That's why God keeps sending these confirmations, not because He's trying to convince Himself, but because He's trying to pull you out of the quicksand of hesitation. Now imagine this. A year from today, you're sitting with your spouse, and you realize that everything you feared was nothing compared to what God had in store. Every obstacle you thought would break you instead became a testimony of His faithfulness. Every unanswered question you had has been replaced by gratitude that you trusted Him in time. That moment will make every step of obedience worth it. But you have a choice. You can keep circling the same doubts, waiting for another sign, or you can say, "Lord, you've shown me enough. I'm stepping out now." And I believe with all my heart, if you act in faith today, you won't just see the confirmation fulfilled, you'll see your entire life begin to align in ways you never thought possible. So right now, declare in the comments the word align. Let it be a statement that you're aligning with His will, His timing, and His voice. And when you're done, go to the playlist in the description. I've placed more prophetic messages there, not just for inspiration, but to keep you anchored when your mind tries to pull you back into doubt. Because this journey doesn't end here.
This is it. This is the moment where your faith meets your future. You've been circling this mountain of doubt for too long. God has not been silent. He's been patient. He's been whispering through dreams, through unexpected encounters, through verses that jump off the page like they were written just for you. And you know it. Deep down, you've always known it. The same person has been in your spirit again and again for a reason. That pull you feel isn't an accident, it's alignment. And every time you've tried to push it away, the confirmation has only grown louder. This isn't about chasing a fantasy. This is about partnering with God's plan. You don't have to force it. You don't have to manipulate it. You only have to trust what He has already shown you. I believe right now, as you're hearing these words, the Holy Spirit is stirring something inside you. You can feel the weight of hesitation starting to lift. You can feel the courage rising, not because you suddenly know all the answers, but because you're finally realizing you don't need them. You only need to say yes. Yes to the timing, yes to the process, yes to the person God has been confirming all along. When you choose to believe Him, you're not just stepping into a relationship, you're stepping into destiny. You're stepping into the good works He prepared for you both before you were even born. And that's why the confirmations have been relentless, because this is bigger than you. So I'm speaking this over you right now. No more delays, no more asking for another sign, no more letting fear wear the mask of caution. This is your season to act. This is your moment to trust. Type the word yes in the comments right now, not as a casual response, but as your prophetic declaration. Let heaven see it, let hell see it, and let your own heart see it in writing. And after you comment, I want you to go straight to the playlist in the description. It's not just there